Welcome everyone, Tactical Edge here, and today we're back for another Total Warhammer 3 online multiplayer. This time we'll be playing as the Empire facing off the filthy troops of Nurgle. In the front line, we have a line of Flagellants mixed in with Sigmar Sons. On the flanks, we have some Spearmen for extra bodies for flank protection. At the back, a couple more Spears as reserves in case we need to throw in extra troops and delay enemy advance to buy time for our missile line, the Free Company Militia, to retreat. These guys are not as popular as something say handgunners or the Empire artillery, but with their unique weapon loadout, a sword and a pistol, they still have some unique applications in certain matchups. Now for the artillery, we have the Temple of Luminarch ready to snipe out some giant Nurgle monsters. At the back, for mobility, we have a couple Empire Knights for extra mobility. They will be our quick response force to pin down or drive away enemy mobility like the plague drones. In the skies for our leadership, we have Boris Todbringer with his full kit, as well as a Royal Pegasus, accompanied by a Bright Wizard coming in with the Flaming Sword of Ruin, Burning Hat, as well as the Fireball. On the opposite side of the battlefield, we have the Nurgle army with mass warriors and marauders deployment. 3 marauders in the front, backed up by more warriors at the back, actually make it 4 marauders. And then there's a single festering stooges and extremely tough infantry to kill. In the skies, we have some mobility support in the form of plague drones with Death's Head. And leading the army, a single Demon Prince of Nurgle, backed up by a Cultist of Nurgle on the Chaos War Shrine. And that's it for the army builds. Now let's get the battle started. To begin this battle, I'm going to express my absolute hatred against this map. This is a poorly designed map for land battles because of all the vegetation and rugged terrain, making conventional artillery really hard to find a clean shot on your opponent's target. Especially with all the tree lines here, it really depends on how your opponent is deploying their army. For example, here earlier I deployed the Temple of Luminarch over here, and the Chaos Cultist is deployed behind the tree line, blocking the shots from the Temple of Luminarch. Thankfully, the Luminarch is a piece of mobile artillery mounted on wheels, and it can easily reposition itself from the left to the right, getting a nice clean shot on the Cultist of Nurgle's War Shrine, and knocked off a huge chunk of his HP with a deadly snipe. So the Cultist of Nurgle will be pulling back into the tree line, hoping to shield itself from my artillery fire, while the rest of the Nurgle army quickly rushes forward, hoping to drag my missile line into melee combat. A second shot launches, but quickly misses the Cultist of Nurgle, so I'll be pulling back the Temple of Luminarch as the Cultist is now hiding in the trees. On the flank, the Demon Prince pushes forward with the dense cover of the vegetation. My Luminarch cannot shoot him, so I'll be pulling Boris and the Bright Wizard over as a response, just in case if my opponent wants to dive bomb with their lord. Also at the same time, I'll be pushing up some Flagellants and the Sigmar Sons, hoping to screen away my opponent's forces, giving my missile line a little bit more time to fire. Demon Prince of Nurgle venturing a little too close to my formations, now receiving a hail of bullets as a welcome. Even Boris and the Bright Wizard are going on a chase. With the support from the Temple of Luminarch, a net of ammo and talk pinned down the Demon Prince, allowing Boris and the Bright Wizard to get a nice clean charge. Even the Luminarch tries to join in on the fun, but somehow it missed on a static large target. But nonetheless, what doesn't miss is Boris Todbringer's charge attack. The extra base weapon damage and the flaming and magical attacks will be extra effective against the lightly armored Nurgle Prince, cutting down its healing and bypassing that physical resistance of all demons. On the other side of the battlefield, Marauders of Nurgle are pushing forward, but it will be delayed by my spears. In the skies, the plague drones of Nurgle seems to be aiming their shots onto my Empire Knights, but that is fine because I can still turn around my Free Company and start shooting at them in the skies. All the Free Company Militia are basically firing at whatever they can find right now, popping shots onto the Demon Prince due to its low armor and large hitbox. It is taking significant damage from the pistols and Boris combined. A Burning Hat roasts a bunch of Marauders. Using that burnt effect, their leadership is dropped into routing, and also doing some nice extra damage to the Festering Stooges, who will be pulling slightly back as my army is flooding forward, even more bodies saturating on top of the festering stooges. Over here, plague drones of Nurgle trading shots with the Free Company militia. That is absolutely fine by me, because Free Company militia, they are a dirt cheap missile infantry, and they are now getting some really good damage on the expensive Nurgle cavalry. And on the far side, Boris Todbringer is dropping the Demon Prince of Nurgle's health down to less than half. While demons don't rout, the leadership issues accompanied by low HP is further debuffing the stats of the Nurgle Demon Prince. The White Cloak of Ulrich -8 attack, and on top of that, the Crush the Weak ability, -5 defense and 5 attack, though the problem is it is only effective on units that are lower than half leadership, but that is exactly what the Nurgle Lord is right now, being relentlessly pursued by Boris Todbringer. At the same time, the Chaos Warriors are struggling to push through the Flagellants because they are winning the combat. Wait, why are they struggling to push through if they're winning combat? That's because the Flagellants being unbreakable and having this one ability called Strength of the Penitent, providing extra physical resistance and melee defense when they're losing combat. Which is exactly what happening earlier. They were losing combat against the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, so they got some extra physical resistance and melee defense, allowing them to tank out even longer in the front line. While over here, the Chaos Warriors of Nurgle are being tied down by a whole bunch of Empire Knights, delaying their advance, opening them up to pot shots from the Free Company militia. While at the back here, the plague drones of Nurgle dropped in trying to rout off my Free Company militia. They actually succeeded in routing one unit, but they also exposed themselves to point-blank fire from another Free Company, taking massive damage in the process. At the back, some summoned plague bearers were dropped in trying to push away my Free Company militia, but they can simply run away while I delay their advance with the spears. Over here, the poor Chaos Cultist suffering from point-blank shots from the Temple of Luminarch. The Luminarch basically has its sight locked onto the Massive War Shrine, hoping to deliver one final blow and end the Chaos Construct. And in the skies, being 2v1 by the Bright Wizard and Boris Todbringer, the Demon Prince of Nurgle simply cannot win out this combat. With the healing gone and the leadership dying, the Nurgle player decided to call it a game. So for a quick rundown of the army performances, State Troop Spears didn't really do too much as they were fighting some superior infantry, Marauders of Nurgle and the Chaos Warriors, who both have increased defenses due to the Mark of Nurgle, and Empire Spears not having a lot of attack cannot get much value overall. However, the Flagellants did hold their own against the superior Chaos Warriors, all thanks to the Strength of the Penitent, buffing up their defensive stats and resistance. Sigmar Sons, they are a very solid troops, able to overpower the Marauders of Nurgle, and they didn't really manage to fight the Chaos Warriors. So in the end, they actually survived with a lot of models intact. As for the mobility here, Empire Knights are mostly there to delay enemy advances, charge down Nurglings, and just stop one of the Chaos Warriors from pushing my backline, so that the Free Company militia have a lot of time to dish out the pain against random Nurgle units, including the lightly armored Marauders, using their pistols to dish out as much damage as possible, or just chip away the health of the Chaos Warriors. And of course, with the Cultists of Nurgle and Demon Prince of Nurgle closing in to their range, their pistol fire can be quite effective, especially against the lightly armored Demon Prince of Nurgle. Even against the cultists who have slightly more armor, the sheer volume of fire, when combined with the Temple of Luminarch point-blank shots, really destroyed the Massive War Shrine. And of course, speaking about the Temple of Luminarch, it got some amazing value, shooting at the Chaos War Shrine as well as the Demon Prince of Nurgle. They're getting over 2,200 gold value, but the most important thing it did in this battle is to use the net, pin down the Demon Prince of Nurgle, allowing Boris Todbringer to cycle charge alongside the Bright Wizard there. Supported by a Flaming Sword of Ruin, Boris Todbringer was able to consistently get hits on the Demon Prince using those flaming and magical damage to bypass defenses of the Demon Prince, also limiting their healing with that on fire effect. And with Boris' toolkit providing a bunch of melee stat debuffs to the Demon Prince was not able to effectively fight back, leading to the defeat of the Nurgle leadership and in turn the entire Nurgle army. As for the Nurgle army here, the Festering Stooges, they are not great at dishing out damage if they don't get their death's hat onto the right targets, and being tied down by Flagellants, they were not getting a nice engagement overall due to their low armor and the Flagellants' impressive attack stats, especially when buffed up by Frenzy. Now, for the Plague Drones of Nurgle, they were too focused on the Free Company Militia not earning too much value, Chaos Warriors of Nurgle, as well as the Chaos Marauders of Nurgle, being tied down by state troops unable to push through the line of Empire bodies means that they cannot deal with the Empire missile pressure, allowing all my missile troops to freely fire at whatever targets they can find. Now do note that this battle is played before patch 2.3 is dropped, so the Empire state troops are actually cheaper now, and you can probably field a even wider line of Empire infantry, further delaying Nurgle's advance with additional units. And yeah, that's basically it for today's battle. I hope viewers you enjoyed, and if you do, remember to hit the like and subscribe to receive updates when I upload new videos. And if you want to showcase your own battles, feel free to drop by my Discord or send me an email with the replay file attached. I'll be sure to check them out. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Witch, signing out.